The Steam Winter Sale is finally upon us. This video will serve two purposes. One is to maximize savings, and two is to show you the games I recommend and the games I've actually played this year. Yes, I make one of these every year, but that's because I feel it very important that people learn how to maximize their savings, you know, if they plan on buying games from Steam anyways. And in this economy, more and more people are starting to realize that maybe you don't need to spend $60 or $70 on a full game. Obviously, the best way to save money is to not spend it. So if you feel like you don't have the money to spend on some games, then just don't. By the time this video releases, the Steam Winter Sale should be available. I suppose the one good thing about digital games is that you can never truly run out of copies, so you have plenty of time before the sale ends. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. It'll help me in the YouTube algorithm and let me know that I'm doing good. The Steam sales typically revolve around one of two things. One, the actual sale itself, and two, a sort of event where you get trading cards. Trading cards and badges really aren't that important in the grand scheme of things, but collecting cards and turning them into badges can be used to level up your Steam profile, which in turn gives you more showcases and stuff you can add to your profile. Steam certainly aspires to be a social media platform, but I don't really know that many people that legitimately use it as their main form of social media over, like, I don't know, Instagram or some crap like that. That said, you can also sell trading cards for literally pennies, and you can accumulate enough pennies to buy a game on sale. Maybe in like a year or two. Valve also runs the Steam Awards around this time of the year. Do you think there was a Game of the Year contender that got robbed? Do you think Baldur's Gate 3 didn't deserve Game of the Year? Well, now's your chance to put your money where your mouth is. The Steam Awards is almost entirely community driven. There's no nepotism here. The Steam community nominates and votes for the games that deserve these awards, and so now's your chance to prove that you love your game the most. And if none of these games are the games that you like, just throw a dice and pick one, man. I don't really care. This is also around the time Valve publishes the Steam Replay. They actually just started doing Steam replays last year, and it shows you all of your stats on Steam. It shows you every achievement you earned, all the games you've played the most, how much time you spent on various platforms, how much time you've spent on your Steam Deck, what games you've launched for the first time, and what games you've bought. As of the making of this video, the 2023 replay isn't available yet, and they usually publish it around Christmas time, so I'm going to talk about it now. I don't know if Valve has changed anything this year. I kind of doubt it, but who knows? Maybe they will. So yes, Valve does a lot of really cool stuff this time of year, but we're here for the main event, the Steam sale. The Steam Winter Sale is one of 4 seasonal sales. This one tends to be important though because it's towards the end of the year. It's also very close to the holidays. So if you have a gamer in your life and you want to show them the wonders of PC gaming, buy them a PC game. So as you may have guessed, this is around the time games go on sale. Though generally speaking, if a game released this month or even last month, it's probably not going to be on sale. Not a deep discount anyways. This video assumes you're going to use Steam as your primary gaming platform. So believe it or not, Steam is not the only place you can buy Steam games. You can buy Steam keys from a plethora of different websites. They also generally run their sales around the same time as well. So if you're interested in multiple games, it's in your best interest to see which website has the best sales. Sometimes the lowest price can be found on Steam, and other times it can be found on a different website. But let's talk about the pros and cons of each individual website. First and foremost, let's talk about Steam itself. Obviously, when it comes to buying games, buying them directly on Steam is just the easiest thing to do. It's literally all there. All the information, all the Steam reviews, the trailers, screenshots, information. Most of the information you'd need is just right there. So let's talk about the pros of buying games on Steam. Number 1, it's convenient. Number 2, some games aren't even sold on other websites. This is more common for much smaller titles, but essentially you cannot buy Steam keys for some games outside of Steam itself. That's just the way it is. Of course, generally speaking, you can find keys for bigger titles outside of Steam. And of course, the third major benefit is getting trading cards. Generally speaking, for every $10 you spend, you get a trading card. Yes, I just said trading cards weren't that important, but it's still something that you don't get on other websites. And of course, the most important important reason to buy games on Steam is the Steam refund policy. The Steam refund policy is famous for being very consumer friendly. You can request a refund within 14 days of purchase as long as you've played less than 2 hours of any given game. Of course, there are times where extreme circumstances happen and Valve will give you a refund regardless of the number of hours played. The whole "the day before" fiasco comes to mind. But what about DLC? The same rules apply to DLC, but the whole under 2 hour stipulation applies to the base game as well. So if you've played a game for over 2 hours and then you buy the DLC, you can't refund it. There's also some cases where DLC can't be refunded at all, but you'll generally see that in the DLCs page. But what about gifts? Well, it depends on who you are. If you're sending the gift, then you can only refund the gift if your gift has been unclaimed. Like for example, the other party didn't accept your gift. But let's say the gift was accepted. The gift is subject to the same rules. The refund must be initiated within 14 days of receiving and you've played less than 2 hours. If the gift was in fact claimed, the gift recipient has to initiate the refund. Also be wary that if Valve finds you abusing the refund policy, they will stop giving you refunds. You'll no longer be able to refund games that you buy, so don't abuse the policy. Now let's talk about the other websites. These are websites like Humble Bundle or Fanatical, or if you've watched my Legion Go video, Games Planet. These are all grouped under the same category because they're basically the same type of website. They sell Steam keys. You buy the Steam keys and then you register the Steam keys with your Steam account, and they're basically Steam games. There are some very clear benefits. First and foremost, it's a lot easier to give people keys. You can literally just send people keys. Like, it's a lot easier than buying the game on Steam and sending it to them as a gift. It's as easy as literally copying and pasting the Steam key into like your friend's Discord DMs or whatever. And of course, at times, the prices are lower. But not only that, but these websites are best known for their bundles. So yes, little known fact, Steam actually has bundles within the application itself, but there's a lot more of these bundles outside of Steam. As for what bundles are available today, I really don't know, but I would look into it. Bundles are a great way to stock up on a ton of Steam games, though the main con is that you may not be interested in every game in a bundle. So you may have games that might just sit in your Steam library forever, unplayed. Or, you could just give those keys to your friends. Whatever the case is, if you're interested in a singular game, you should see if it's part of a bundle, because having like 5 or 6 games for the same price as that one individual game is ultimately cheaper per unit. There are some cons from buying from legitimate third-party resellers. For starters, the refund policy, it's not as good. In most cases, you can only get a refund if you haven't redeemed or even seen the key. It's a far cry from Steam's refund policy, where you literally get to play a game so long as your playtime does not exceed 2 hours. And of course, there is one other con as well. There are so many of these websites, you don't know which websites are legit, and you also don't know which of these sites has the lowest deals. This is where Augmented Steam comes into play. Augmented Steam is a browser extension made to enhance your Steam experience. It's available for both Google Chrome and Firefox, but in my opinion, the best use case for Augmented Steam is the price comparisons. As you can see here, Monster Hunter Rise is on sale for 60% off. Not bad. But as you can see here, it says the current best is actually $12.99 on Indie Gala. It also tells you the last historical low was $11.99 on Games Planet US about half a year ago. Augmented Steam pulls all of this data from istthereanydeal.com, and it's also developed by the same guys as well. This is why I never browse Steam using the Steam app. I always browse Steam using my web browser. To be honest, there's no real reason to browse Steam using the actual application, ever. Now, if they were to somehow integrate Augmented Steam into the Steam client itself, that would be a godsend. Or if someone made an Augmented Steam Decky plugin, that would be great. As per usual, I give my 10 recommendations to any new Steam Deck owners. These are the games or bundles you should buy. First and foremost is the Valve Complete Pack. The Valve Complete Pack has every game Valve has ever made, except for Half-Life Alyx. This bundle is generally over $100, but it goes on sale every seasonal sale, and it goes on sale pretty deep. The lowest it's ever been is $6.54. That's like almost 37 cents per game, excluding Valve's free-to-play games. It includes some of the best games ever made. And you know what? Half-Life recently got an anniversary update with full Steam Deck support. It really is awesome. No recommendation list is complete without Vampire Survivors. And optionally, it's DLCs. It's $5. Yes, the game does go on sale every now and then, so if you don't have the game already, then now's your best chance to buy it, or any of the DLCs you're missing. There's also an Among Us collaboration coming out soon. I also recommend Celeste. Celeste is a tough-as-nails platformer. I've recommended this many times on my channel, and I'll recommend it once again. It's really good. Next up is Enter the Gungeon. It's my favorite roguelike. Everything is guns, guns, guns. It's tough as nails, it's bullet hell, it's delicious. You like roguelikes? You like guns? You like guns that shoot guns? Or guns that shoot bullets that shoot guns? Then this is the gun for you. I mean, game for you. Next up is 7 Days to Die. You know, I've never actually featured this game on my channel before, but I think it's a pretty good game. It's kind of janky, and yes, it's in early access, but a lot of people were really clamoring for some sort of open world zombie survival game. I mean, think about how many people bought the day before. They were searching for a type of game, and I think 7 Days to Die fills that niche perfectly. You can play alone, offline, or you can play with friends, and it's pretty cool. The game is quite expensive for an indie game at $25, but it goes on sale fairly often. But do keep in mind, this game has been in alpha for like a decade or so. Yes, they're still actively developing it. Yes, there are still updates coming out. But just keep in mind that this game may never be fully completed. But in its current state right now, the game is actually really fun, so I don't mind. The game is also quite moddable too. Next up is One Way Heroics. One Way Heroics is a game that's even cheaper than Vampire Survivors, and has been for quite some time now. It's an auto-scrolling roguelike, and the game goes on sale for very cheap. In fact, I bought this game when it was 69 cents, like 7 years ago. I think the game deserves a little more love. There's also a DLC that revamps everything about the game too, if you're interested. There's also reimagining by Spike Chunsoft. I really haven't played it, but I probably should at some point. But I'm strictly recommending the original, published by Playism. And now for some AAA recommendations. Let's start with Elden Ring. Elden Ring is literally the killer app for the Steam Deck. At least it was when it first came out. Is it hard? Only if you're impatient. But honestly, preparing for every boss battle will help you out a lot. Elden Ring is still quite expensive these days, but hopefully it'll go on sale for at least half off by the time the sale begins. Hopefully. Next up is Cyberpunk 2077. Once upon a time, Cyberpunk 2077 ruined the reputation of CD Projekt Red. Deservedly so, because it was kind of half-baked. But now the game is fixed, and it's even cheaper too if you buy it on sale. Amazing. There's also a brand new DLC that honestly I haven't played yet, but I really should play because I hear it's excellent. And of course, Baldur's Gate 3. I need to play more Baldur's Gate 3. I have not played nearly enough of it. But what I can tell you is that supposedly Baldur's Gate 3 is going on sale, and this is the first time it's ever gone on sale. So if you haven't bought it yet, now's your chance to buy it, I guess. And also, this isn't technically on sale, but Type Moon is finally releasing a visual novel on Steam in English. It's The Witch on the Holy Night. It's not Fate Stay Night, nor is it Tsukihime, but I'll take it. And of course, this is my very last video of the year, so let's send it off with a bang. Here are 10 fairly new games I played this year that I greatly enjoyed, in no particular order. Armored Core 6 is my personal game of the year. I know, kind of an off-beaten path. Why is that? Well, it's simple really. I like giant robots, and From Software does too, obviously. My actual most played game of the year though is Labyrinth of Galleria, which took me 100 hours to beat. The game isn't for everyone, and I have a full review out, but basically, if you like RPGs, you like dungeon crawling, you like build crafting, you like character creation, this is the game for you. And on the smaller side of things, I think Dungeon Drafters was criminally underrated. It released in a year that was already excellent for games, and so yeah, I guess I can see why it was overlooked, but I think it's worth a shot. It's a dungeon crawling roguelike deck builder. The real focus of this game is building your own custom decks, and hoping that the deck is good enough to get you through the dungeon. Party Animals is an always online multiplayer game. It's like Gang Beasts but better. But do remember this, it's not about winning. It's about making sure everyone else loses. Disgaea 7 came out this year, and my god, it's sucking me back in once again. Grinding has somewhat of a negative connotation when it comes to video games, but games like Disgaea make it quite therapeutic because you always know what you're grinding towards. You can optimize the grind, and there are many ways to become stronger. All I have to say is do yourself a favor and play it. World of Horror finally released this year, and it's spectacular. Do you like horror-themed roguelikes? If you do, then this is the roguelike for you. It's visually striking, and it invokes some of that Junji Ito vibe. Mozzolina is an unusual one to say the least. It's very cheap. The game is randomness incarnate. You're given random tools to complete a random assortment of levels. The tools you need are right there. It's just a matter of being creative enough to use them. Gravity Circuit is Mega Man X with punching. That's all that needs to be said. Yes, I'm a huge Mega Man X fanboy, but still. Sea of Stars is the TGA Indie Game of the Year, and honestly, I think it deserves it. It's really good. It very much feels like Chrono Trigger. They even got one of the original composers to do some tracks. It's great. And of course, last but certainly not least, Tevi. I've been having a blast with Tevi. It's made by the same developers that made Rabby Ribby, and it's pure Metroidvania goodness. And yes, I know I didn't mention some of the Game of the Years this year, and I'll tell you why. First, this is explicitly games on Steam, so no Spider-Man 2, no Super Mario Wonder, no Tears of the Kingdom. Otherwise, Tears of the Kingdom would have been on this list. And yes, there's a ton of other great games I've played this year that I really enjoyed. But if I listed every game I like, this video would be much longer than it already is. So that's the entire video. I hope you guys have a great holiday season with your family or whoever you're spending it with. There may be some shorts that are published here and there, but there won't be any full-length videos until 2024. So I'll see you guys then. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.